I'm a former Bain manager, and I'm going to share with you an unfiltered consulting firm tier list so that you can decide what are the best consulting firms to apply to. This tier list has been compiled by speaking to over 50 consultants that work across over 20 different consulting firms. By the end of this video, you'll know what are the best firms to work for. Let's start with the S tier firms. The S tier of consulting firms is unquestionably McKinsey, BCG, and Bain. These firms are collectively known as MBB. Here's what clearly sets MBB apart from any other consulting firm. McKinsey, BCG, and Bain all have the highest brand recognition and prestige in the consulting industry. They're the most expensive consulting firms to hire. They have the biggest brand name clients. They produce the highest quality work and results for clients. They hire the smartest people from top schools. They have the lowest acceptance rates. They pay the highest compensation. They have the best exit opportunities, and they have the most alumni that end up being C-level executives. Among the 50 consultants that I spoke to, not a single consultant disagreed that these three firms fall under the S tier. You cannot go wrong working at any of these firms. You'll learn a lot, open many doors, and working at one of these firms is one of the best ways to start a career in business. A tier. The next group of consulting firms are known as Tier 2 firms. They are called Tier 2 because they aren't McKinsey, BCG, or Bain and are seen as a step down below them. Among the 50 consultants I spoke to, there was no clear consensus on which firms belong in this tier. However, the firms that were mentioned the most include Oliver Wyman, LEK, EY Parthenon, Strategy and, Deloitte, Roland Berger, Kearney, and Accenture. While these firms are all well-known and have notable clients, they don't have the same prestige as MBB and are cheaper to hire. However, the pay at these firms is competitive, and working at these firms still opens the doors to a lot of attractive exit opportunities. Generally, the people that work at these firms are those that got rejected from McKinsey, BCG, or Bain, but still wanted to work in management consulting. After the A tier is the B tier list of consulting firms. This is where consulting firm rankings are much less clear. There was a lot of disagreement among the 50 consultants I spoke to on which firms fall in the B tier. However, the firms that were mentioned the most include Simon Kucher, Mars & Company, Clearview Healthcare Partners, Putnam, Alex Partners, OC&C Strategy Consultants, ZS, and Arthur D. Little. These firms are much less well-known than firms in the previous tiers. They tend to be much smaller in size, have smaller clients, and may specialize in a particular industry. The pay at these firms will generally be lower, and there will be fewer exit opportunities since working at these firms will not open as many doors for you. Some people may choose to work at one of the firms in the B tier over a firm in the A tier if there is a specific industry or function that they are interested in, or they'll work there if they like the people better. C tier. After the B tier is the C tier. This is where consulting rankings become the Wild West. At this point, any firm in the C tier has significantly less brand name recognition than all of the tiers we've covered so far. Because of this, it's very hard to determine whether a specific consulting firm should fall under the C tier, D tier, or F tier. However, if you're considering applying to or working for a consulting firm we have not covered yet, here are 5 criteria you should use to evaluate them. Number 1. Does the firm do strategy consulting? Strategy consulting is generally seen as the most lucrative and prestigious type of consulting. However, it's not the only type of consulting. There are many different types of consulting, including operations consulting, implementation consulting, IT consulting, economic consulting, HR consulting, and risk consulting. If you're going for prestige and brand name, pick a consulting firm that does strategy consulting. Number 2. Does the firm only do consulting? In general, firms are more prestigious if they focus exclusively on consulting instead of offering a wide range of professional services. There are exceptions to this, of course, such as Deloitte, EY Parthenon, and Strategy and, which is a part of EY. However, outside of these exceptions, if you're going for prestige and brand name, pick a firm that only does consulting and doesn't do other professional services such as tax or audit. Number 3. What is the size of the consulting firm? In general, the larger the consulting firm is, the more well-known and recognized it will be. There are exceptions to this, so use this criteria along with the other criteria we discuss. In general, try to pick a consulting firm that has at least 5 offices and 1,000 employees. Number 4, who are the consulting firm's clients? Another way to assess the prestige of a consulting firm is to find out who their clients are. In general, more prestigious consulting firms will have bigger name clients. For example, a consulting firm that works with Apple, Walmart, or Nike will generally be more prestigious than a consulting firm that works with small, no-name startups. And number 5, what schools do consultants at the firm come from? Another way to assess the prestige of a consulting firm is to find out what schools their consultants come from. If a lot of consultants are coming from schools such as Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Yale, and Princeton, chances are the consulting firm is on its way to becoming prestigious and well-known. However, if consultants come from schools that you've never heard of, then this might not be a great sign. So, how did we do with our consulting firm tier list? What prestigious or brand name firms did we leave out? Are there any rankings that you disagree with? Let us know in the comments below. This video is part of our 7-part consulting series that will teach you things such as how to decide if consulting is right for you, how to decide what firms to apply to, how to get a referral, how to write the perfect consulting resume and cover letter, and how to pass your consulting interviews. Subscribe to our channel to make sure you catch all of the videos in this series. And if you need help navigating the consulting recruiting process, we have you covered. We offer a complete suite of courses and services to help you get interviews, pass interviews, and land offers. So check out the resources in the video description below.